Hello, precious people. I'm Jacqueline Parks, and welcome to my studio Stampin' Turtles. Today we are going to be doing some art fodder or scrapbook fodder, whatever you call it. We're going to be making it. And I've already cut out some things that are on my table. So let's see if we can look at that. I'm getting a red signal, so give me a thumbs up if you can see me, hear me, things like that. I might have to go on my phone and double check that things are moving right along. Oh my gosh, my desk is so packed. Y'all, I have this idea. I'm going to turn in my one of my home rentals to a craft studio. Art studio, because this is just crazy. I need like 10 tables. I need 10, at least 10 to craft with. I don't know about y'all, but I need 10, like at least 10. So I'm gonna go on my channel, make sure I'm going live, and oh yeah, can hear myself. That is good, even though it's saying red. I don't know why it's saying red on my thing. I'm just going to leave that up so I can see it or not see it. Anyways, these are just blank little watercolor paper that I die cut with my Stampin' Up! Mini Big Shot. If you don't know how to use that, I'm sure there are many people on Facebook and YouTube that show you how. Just Google Big Shot die cutting machine, and you'll see a lot of different stuff that will give you ideas on how to create really cool cutouts. And let me show you what I did before all this. So I painted these 2 sheets of watercolor paper like last week, and I wanted a great idea to share with my friends, and so I just did some of these cute little leaves, flowers, mushrooms, even a couple of butterflies and snails that are kind of more cartoony looking. And after I painted a whole sheet of them, I used some scissors and cut them out. But then my thumb ended up feeling numb. It's still numb, actually, to be honest with you. I can touch it and it's just kind of a weird sensation. So if you're going to be cutting out a lot of stuff with scissors, make sure your scissors have a adequate hole for your finger, for your thumb. This is what I was using, and as you can see, them holes are tiny, and my thumb going through there, I mean, it was cutting into right here, and that's where I'm kind of numb. So use better scissors than I was if you're going to be doing a whole sheet of this art fodder and creating little cutouts. Now, using the Big Shot, I have cut out some pumpkins, some birds, some leaves, and some flowers, and even these are palm trees. Now, we do have stamps from Stampin' Up! That go with these dies, but y'all, I want you to be creative. I don't want you to think that everything has to be stamped. Sometimes we can do some really cool art stuff from our heads, right? And we don't have to stamp everything. But if you're not confident in stamping, in drawing, then definitely go ahead and stamp it first. But here's something too, and I don't know how zoomed in I am, but I'm just gonna go through here and do some really quick pencil lines, just so I can have an outline of where I want to color. Because when I did the whole sheet, I didn't pre-cut anything, but I did pre-draw. So that's kind of like a little fern. What do you think this flower will look like? Kind of like something like that. So see, my pencil lines are really erratic. So you don't even have to have perfection, y'all. Just a little something. I don't even know if that's right. If you feel like you've messed up, you can always get an eraser. Erasers are your best friend when you're drawing. That's why I don't like to draw with pen. I like to draw with a pencil. So that's kind of like my little outline. And you can see the pencil lines on this because I am drawing a little darker. Same thing with this little leaf. Actually, what I might do, go around like that. And the reason I'm holding it down is because if I didn't hold it down, I'd be going all over the place. Here's something else. And I do want to do a little outline around the leaf. So then it kind of looks like I did some cutting around. I may end up doing something more like that. I don't want it to be too far from that edge. And a lot of times pencil lines will disappear as you are coloring. So it depends. They do make a paint or a pencil that disappears with heat, so you can always use a heat tool to get rid of your pencil. You might be like, this is super messy. How is that even going to look good? Well, it's funny how the messier I draw stuff, the better it looks. So I'm just going to be a little messy drawer today. And I know Halloween's over, but fall isn't. And I know a lot of people are starting their Christmas decorating. And I'm all for that if you want to do that. But for me, I like to celebrate Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a fun holiday. I think there's a one of my favorite things about Thanksgiving is pumpkin pie. I don't know if you guys like pumpkin pie. This is a maple leaf. So maple leaf goes from the bottom there. There you go. So I'm just like quickly sketching some of these and we'll get busy drawing, or we'll get busy painting in a second here. Let me just finish doing some of these. I did a few of this die because it looked kind of cool. So that could be a gourd or a pumpkin. It doesn't matter. Here's another leaf, little baby leaf. And I'm going to try and follow as closely as I can to that outline. Just so it looks like I hand cut it, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to look hand cut. But for me, my thumb is still kind of tingling from that, and I'm like, look at this cute little leaf. He's tiny. He's super tiny. There you go. So I have a couple of those. And you may be thinking, well, what are you going to do with all this? I'll show you. I'll show you some great ideas at the end, okay? So there's a start. I could do the birds too, but that might take a little bit more concentration, and I'm not super excited about that. All right, so good. You guys are seeing what I'm seeing, right? Because you know how many times I don't film the right thing, and then I get all upset at myself because I didn't film it. And y'all saw the side of my head instead, which is ridiculous. So I had 2 shows this weekend as I was setting up for some of my art shows. It was really fun meeting neighbors next to me, so other vendors that are at the events. They're always fun to talk to, and I try to just be friendly and outgoing. And then I was so blessed to have friends of mine stop by as well. They were super nice, and they always support me and buy some of my art, which is so cool. And I love them for that. Um, so yeah, that was the Honeybee Festival in Robertsdale. So if you are a local person, you should always try and go to these local events. Some other craft shows were going on that same weekend. So it was a little, there was probably some competition where people wanted to go and hang out for the day. But as far as the Honeybee Festival, it's a small venue, really, with the locals, and it's the high school, and it's a fundraiser. So there's a lot to that. That's kind of cool because you're not actually I don't know, you're actually helping people do stuff locally, like a high school, and there's a lot of kids art, so that was kind of cool. Um, but I tell you what, my husband was talking to some of the vendors there, and they were very disappointed because they didn't sell anything. Um, so that's kind of sad. But last year I didn't sell anything, so I kind of debated whether or not to do it this year because I was like, well, maybe I just won't because it was not lucrative, right? I didn't have any sales, and so I'm glad I did come this year because I ended up with some good sales from it. Made back my booth fee and some, so it was really good. Plus, making contacts with people who will ultimately either use me for commissioning artwork, or they may come to one of my classes, and that's what I like to do, is make contacts and and find new students, new clients, and new friends, really, because I love all these people that I meet. They're just wonderful, and um, that's a lot of why I do what I do. It's because I enjoy meeting people and I love people. Do you want me to zoom in a little? I don't know if this is very zoomed in. Let me see if I can zoom in. Because sometimes I can do that with a click of my little buttons. There you go. It's a little better. A little bit better. Let's see if we add a little bit of red to some of these leaves. Being punched out is that I don't have to do that after. I can just allow these things to be kind of cool. And you'll see when they're dry what I'm going to do. It's going to be really cool. So cool. Right, here's one more leaf. No, I'm not trying to be real persnickety and stay in the lines, y'all. I know some people are like that. My style of art is very loose and very free and very just go with the flow. Don't overanalyze it. Don't try and be controlling of everything. So it's always good to remember that when you're painting is finding your style. What do you enjoy doing most with your style of art? Do you like control? Do you like things to be exact? Do you like all that? Or do you want it to be loose, kind of like mine? So a couple more pumpkins. Let's see. These ones a little more orangey. And so what I can do with these afterwards is make like a Thanksgiving card. Do y'all send cards out? Do you ever make a watercolor card and send it to family? Or do you hoard all your artwork? Some people like to hoard their artwork. Alright, so those are good. And some of mine are falling apart, falling on top of each other, I should say. And then what about this little flower? Let's make him like a purpley color. Like that. So, let's see. So the Honeybee Festival, I did pretty good. And if you're on any of my other social media accounts like Instagram or Facebook, you'll probably have seen one of my, oops, do I want to do that? I don't know what I'm doing here. Just mixing a couple blues together. So like some variation in the colors. And that's what I love about watercolor. You just put a couple different colors in there and it looks good. You don't have to be too precise. I have one more that's drawn. Let's see if I can do that one in a kind of greenish color maybe. And another cool thing though I could do with those sheets of watercolor that I painted is go get those photocopied, and then I'll have different sheets of it to cut out, and it's not original artwork, but that would make for a less expensive item to sell at the craft shows. And I've noticed that that's kind of what people are looking for. They're looking for some more affordable art. I like that color. If you don't like a color, just erase it. I always tell people, you can erase watercolor. And they're like, how do you do that? Well, you just take a clean brush and you lift it right out. And see, look at all that. Gone. And maybe I'll go back in. Do it again. Do a different color than I originally did. Well, one thing I didn't do was these palm trees. So I can do some palm trees. Right now I'm just kind of doing, everything's falling into everything. Just doing a little bit of light green. And I'll go back with the details in a minute. Gotta let that dry. And then a lot of pen work too, which is something I've done a lot of, is pen work. And you'll see that I kind of mix some of my colors without even knowing what I'm mixing. After you practice doing color mixing for a while, you'll start to understand how to get a color you need without really thinking about it. In one of Paul Clark's tutorials, someone asked in the comments how to make Payne's Gray, and Paul used cobalt blue with like, was it burnt umber maybe? Burnt sienna, burnt umber. So that's something you can do to mix your own colors, but then if you don't like what colors you've mixed, you can always buy a tube of Payne's Gray, so you don't have to mix it yourself. But sometimes I'll use all my blues. You see how many blues I have? I use all them blues, mix them all up. So these are gonna be drying for a little bit, and I wanted to show you something really cool that my friend Melinda Moran made for me. It is, let me see if we can zoom out so you all can see. Because, you know, sometimes, oh, that can turn. I didn't realize. Y'all, I didn't realize. Sometimes you learn new things while you're live. Which crazy stuff, huh? Crazy stuff. So, here I have, this is a ceramic paint palette, and she even has a little stamp with her name. The name of her business is Primrose Pottery. She was at my church. We were invited to be vendors there, her and I and a bunch of other people. I think there was like 10 vendors in total for their women's conference that my church holds every year. And this was the first year doing a vendor event. So that was kind of cool. So I was so blessed to be able to set up and have some of my artwork there for people to purchase, which I did really good at my church event. So you just never know how you're going to be blessed by the Lord and get some sales and be able to keep doing what you love to do, which is being an artist. I love this. I can't wait to put some colors in here and really make this my own and keep it on my desk and not have to worry about travel with any of with trying to find my travel. This will become my travel probably, and this will be my permanent home, right? It'll be on my permanent home. Also, if you like my earrings, these are from my friend Laura Minton for Your Ears Only. She's going to be at the next craft show that I'm also going to be at, and that's in Robertsdale as well. And it's going to be at the Robertsdale Coliseum, and it's the holiday market by the Boss Babes. So that's where we'll be. Being an artist and doing local vendor stuff is so much fun because you get to meet so many people. Like, I prayed with people that I've known for years, and I was able to pray with brand new people that I've never met before. And so being at a Christian event for my church was really awesome, and walking side by side with other Christian ladies with my sisters, and that was just really cool to do that event. And the honeybee was great too. I got to meet a lady next door to me who was selling her embroidery stuff. And so that was also fun. And next weekend on Saturday, I'm going to meet some more people. So it's going to be great. Let's see if I have what's going on with those. Those are starting to do stuff. I wanted to show you something else too that was cool at my church. So our pastor has some honeybees, and he makes this honey. It's called hot honey. And so if you want to order some of this, go to coastalcomb.com. He's got all kinds of sizes of honey that you can order from him. But this one is spicy. If you like spicy, this is spicy honey. He also has regular honey. Another vendor who has a ministry helping the youth in Pritchard, which is across the bay from us, lightofthevillage.org. So if you want to help with her ministry, she has these are all candles made locally by the teenagers there, and all the proceeds go into helping them find Jesus and live a better life. And so I just love it, and I wish I could let you guys smell it because it smells so good. And it doesn't have that strange aftertaste. It says if you want to order here, just go to lightofthevillage.org. So they're definitely a good cause to find some unique Christmas gifts. So yeah, honey. This also, I have to also share what my friend Melinda, who's the potter, did. Look at this beautiful necklace. She is so creative and so talented and so generous. I just love her. Mwah. She's awesome. All right, so what are we going to do next? My voice is going because, of course, I'm talking. And I even drank some honey and hot tea. So you would think that I would be raring to go. But nope. All right, I'm going to add a shadow onto the bottom of my pumpkins. And you know me, I like to use blue shadows. Blue. I don't know why, but blue just seems perfect for a shadow. And I like to make second layers of the orange or yellow, whatever color I just put on there, to darken it up and leave some light spaces so that you have some reflection there, okay? Because then your pumpkin is going to look more natural. This little pumpkin needs some more. I do like the brown, the green in there. But just following along with some of the guidelines that I've made already for that. And then adding a little bit of blue. If I can get enough blue on my palette. On my brush. So that's kind of cool. This leaf looks great. I'm not going to do anything. This one needs some help. It needs a little darker. Let's see. Add some. Oh yeah, look at that. And maybe just a little bit of yellow. Yellow kind of pushes stuff away. Need more water to get more yellow. More yellow. There you go. So, craft season or whatever festival season is in full swing. Busy every weekend, y'all. So if you need to find me, you can go. Usually on my website, I try and update, but I've not been good with that. So I need to update. And look at this really pretty bright color. And add a little bit more greens. And I'm probably going a little bit too dark with that, but that's okay. So this pumpkin needs some more dimension. Might add a little bit more of this kind of reddish color. If you don't like it, just erase it. If you want some of that darker colors on the bottom, you can add some of the green. And just kind of blend it. And you can always erase. I like erasing. So there's one of my pumpkins. Got a little stuff going on there. This guy needs a little bit more help. He's not too bright. Need a little bit more color. Maybe a little green. Let's put a little splash of green in there. This little pumpkin, let's put some blue. Put some blue at the bottom. Because you know what the opposite of orange on the color wheel is, right? It's blue. So that's what I use a lot of times to make shadows with something on the opposite end of the color wheel. And you can get even darker with that orange. So if you haven't quite gone dark enough, just keep trying it. Try different things. Try and keep your light from the same direction on your pumpkin so you know that it's more. And you can even highlight, lift. So that looks good. I know it's kind of far away. Maybe you guys can zoom in. I'd love to try and zoom in for you. Let's see. So there you go. There's some right there. Now these little pieces I think are just too small to draw. So what I could do is just kind of watercolor them. Watercolor them some green. And I love that watercolor does not stain your table. So you can do whatever you want with that, right? Let's put some yellow. Let's put a little bit of orange. There we go. This is another one. This will be pretty. Ooh, that almost looks like wheat. What do you think? A little bit of green. So, I can do more if I wanted to, but I think that's good for now. Might add some dark green in here and do some darker leaves towards the bottom. And this is just a little bit of Payne's Gray, which is a great, like I said, addition to your palette. If you don't have a tube of it, go get some. If you don't have it and you want to use it today, mix your cobalt blue and burnt umber, but you can also use any of your blues. You can play around. There's no right or wrong. I say just go for it and have fun. Experiment with it. So I'm just lifting up a little bit because that was kind of, I don't know, it looked a little bit too something. I'm going to add some more of these. And are these perfect? No. Nothing on this page is perfect. But the Lord still loves me and uses me, which is a blessing. There we go. I got them palm trees kind of going. Everything looks pretty bright and pretty. I think this needs some help. This one right here. So we're going to put a little bit of greens, darker green. Trying to stick with like that fern shape. I think that'll look good. What else should we do with these? Oh, we don't want to forget the center on this guy. I was waiting for him to dry so I can add the yellow. And you can mix your yellows. You can mix some orange to make it look a little bit more something. Make it look a little bit more natural. If you go out of the lines, that's okay. You can dab it up. So there we go. We've got some stuff going on right there. And I think our connection's a lot better now. So there might not be any lull in the video. I'm looking at it on my phone. It doesn't look like it's lulling. Lully lull. Right? Okay. So I'm going to not be patient. And I'm going to dry this. Everything flying away. I will tell you that having a sheet of paper is much easier to dry than these little cutouts that are flying away as I'm drying, which is not ideal. Come on, get off each other. They are just flying everywhere, aren't they? Come back, come back. Don't fly away. Although, if you're a pre-trib rapture girl like me, you might be saying, let's fly away. Right? Who wants to go with me? Flying away. That would be awesome, right? Okay, now we need some markers. And like I've shown you guys, these are great. They're waterproof, but I can't find them anymore. This one is kind of dried out anyways, which is sad. I want to be able to buy those again, but I cannot find them. A lot of people say these are good micron pens, and they come in packs of different sizes. This one might work. Let me feel if that's wet, dry. Which one of these is somewhat dry? This one is. So when they're dry, you don't want to do this when they're wet. But take your black pen, Illustrator pen, and you're just going to outline what you colored. And you're going to fill in all of that. I wish I could zoom in just a little bit bigger or a little bit more. Let's see. See if that's a little closer. So see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of following those lines. And most of the art fodder that I've seen online does have a nice crisp pen work. So basically line and wash is what this would be, except I'm doing the line work after the wash work. Is this one dry? Which one is, are these dry? Maybe this little baby one is dry. Let's try this one. So I'll do this little leaf. Wasn't sure if this was a lemon or a leaf, because you know, sometimes my dies are from years and years ago, and I can't remember what stamp set they go with. But I just like to keep all my dies. Sometimes I get rid of my stamp sets, but there you go. Look at those two leaves. Aren't those cute? Super cute, right? That one feels dry. So I'm going to make this one have like a stem going up. And I'm going to make these like little circle looking things. And you can go around if you want. I don't know if this one was supposed to be more leaf shape. Like that. Who knows, right? You can make it messy. You could make this go around and be part of your background ones that you kind of overlap your pumpkin with or something. So it's just kind of barely sticking out from the sides like that or something, or from the top. Let's see if I can do anything here. So this pen is kind of, I have different size pens. This one's a 0.2, I guess. So I don't know if that's a small, kind of a small pen, maybe. But what's cool about this is you don't have to be exact. And it makes it look more organic and more handmade, which it is handmade, right? So that's my little pumpkin, a couple leaves. There's another pumpkin we can do. So I'm just going to start on the outside and just trace that pumpkin. And then do some of those other real fun shapes that the pumpkin does. And following along the stem. He's kind of a little damp right there, but that's okay. And this one's more like one of those weird, kind of skinny and at the top and chubby at the bottom. Kind of like me. There we go. And this one will be very pretty too. I think it's dry enough. And I like the shape of this die. It was really pretty. So I'm just going to go around and follow that shape with my pen. And do the stem. And do the veins in the leaf. And what else? Do a couple more that I didn't draw in there. There we go. Here's a nice little pumpkin. I have to move my palette because it is making a sound, which probably doesn't sound too good to your ears. Alright, so we're just going to do this one, following my pencil lines. But again, you don't have to stick to that. You can go and squiggle around them and make it different. And that's what's going to make it your fodder kind of unique and have your style. This is definitely my style, right? These guys are going to be interesting. So I don't know how I was going to do these, but we'll just do some random. There's always like that little thing at the end that kind of goes down. right? And they kind of go down at a weird angle at the tips. So that's good for now. Maybe do that one. I could look at a picture and make it more exact, y'all. But for time concerns, I just wanted to do it a little bit. And it still feels a little wet, so I'm feeling a little resistance here from my pen. It's not happy. It's not happy with me. It's like, I don't want to draw on this wet paper. And I'm like, too bad. Okay, all the time we have to have these little round things on the trunk of a tree, and you can curve them or just keep them straight, whatever you want to do. So that's my little palm tree. It looks pretty good. What about this maple leaf? Just kind of go around and do that too. So I think for our next class that we do every second Sunday, I'm doing a wintry scene with some red cardinal birds, maybe like a little couple, like a little male and female bird, and then having them sit on a branch with some birch trees. I think that'll be fun, and it's going to be super loose, super easy to do, okay? And it's not going to be stressful. We're going to have a good time. That's what I like. Just painting for the fun of it, you guys. Don't have any expectations. Just get your supplies out and try making something. And even if you don't know what to do, here's a good idea, is to just paint your palette. So get your palette out and swatch each square color that you own. That's the best way, I think, to use your supplies and get familiar with them. So this one, I really liked how this one turned out. Kind of looks like a fern, I think. And you can do overlapping of those leaves, and they're super fun. And like I said before, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just make it your own. I'm just admiring the colors on this. Can you see that? Look at all the pretty greens in there and a little bit of brown, a little bit of yellow, just really lights and darks, some super contrast in there. I like that. And I don't know, you just can't get that with acrylic, I don't think. If you're an acrylic artist, let me know if I'm wrong. I used to paint with acrylics, and I used ice cubes to paint with, and they would melt the paint, look melted. But even then, it wasn't exactly like watercolor. So I really enjoy watercolor and how it looks. All right, so that one has got some little stem things going on. So let's see if I missed anything. The flower. So I would go around this yellow part in like an organic shape, not a circle. We're not making perfect little circles. We're doing some strange looking shapes here. You don't want to have anything be like uniform looking. We got to have it look a little different. And you can add some little extra squiggles here and there if you want. You can add some little dots in there if you want. So yeah, that's just kind of, it's good. It looks good, I think. And I didn't even do anything with these guys. Should I just leave them like they are? Or should I draw a little bit? I can draw a little bit. Can you see what I'm doing? They're really hard to hold still, to be honest. But we can just go ahead and do, and they still feel a little bit damp. So it's a little harder to get it to do what I want it to. So you can, sometimes you can just leave these things and not do anything with them, right? Okay, so what do we do now, right? So let's pretend we have a card front or something like this. And we want to add some embellishments, which you can use this stuff as an embellishment. So I might pair those two pumpkins together. I like the contrast. This little messy leaf tucked behind there. One of these poking up at the top. And let's see, maybe some of these little leaves down here on the bottom. And you can even tuck one behind the other. And if you see how that's looking and you're liking it, this is always the hard part, is keeping it where you want it, and then you'd have to lift it and glue it. And try and get it just right again, how you had it laid out. But you can always take a picture and see if that helps. But look at that. And that would be a cute little table setting where you put someone's name. You could use like a calligraphy pen and do some hand lettering and write their names and make that like a little placemat card for guests. You can also make it like a little gift tag or gift card saying Happy Thanksgiving, and give that to a good friend of yours who's maybe feeling down and wants to be cheered up. So that's one idea right there. You can also use that, and you could paint on the background an ocean scene, or you could just keep it simple and do something like that with a little pretty flower and your palm trees. Or you can even do one over in this corner, one over here. And that might be cool as well. And you can have it be like happy birthday or something like that. And I think that would be kind of fun. So this is what fodder is. It's basically just these cute little hand painted and hand cut out. Well, these were die cut, but you can hand cut if you want to use scissors. Just make sure you use scissors that aren't going to constrict your thumb in a way that makes them fall asleep and die. Fall asleep. So if you want to stick with that theme of just pumpkins, you can do that. Leaves. It's just kind of fun to play with. You can make bookmarks. All kinds of ideas, y'all. So there's all my things that I made. And they turned out pretty, I think. What do y'all think? But thank you so much for joining me today. I guess we'll quit a little early. I've got a lot to do. I've got to return some calls. I got a bunch of names from all my events that I've done. And I want to update my website with my classes that I'm doing. And just some other stuff too. Got to do all kinds of stuff. Laundry, things like that. So, what I'd like to do before going, of course, is share some scripture with y'all. And so sometimes I don't know really what to say, and I'll look at the time, like 10:52. So we could look up 10:52 and see what time it is. I mean, which scripture it is. And this one is saying Mark 10:52. It says, and Jesus said to him, go your way, your faith has made you well. So that is about the blind man who was healed by Jesus. And I believe that that part, faith, is important. And I don't want to ever say that someone's faith wasn't strong enough to heal them, because I do believe that even when we have faith the size of a mustard seed, that it is enough. So sometimes when we're not healed, it's just that was God's answer. So we didn't get healed. But I do believe we pray faithfully for the outcomes that the Bible says we should be praying for, which is to have peace, to have healing, to have salvation. So those are the things that I always pray for. Every night I have a list of names that I go through and pray for. And a lot of you all are on it who come on to my channel and support me and give me likes and give me encouragement and comments on my videos. So I so appreciate each and every one of you. And I pray for God to bless you and for God to keep you and for God to protect you. And I know as we are going into an election tomorrow, we just need to be in prayer. And I'm not asking anyone to vote for a certain person. I'm just saying let's be kind. Let's pray for kindness. Let's pray for God's will. And we know Jesus is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So maybe that's it. Proverbs, is it Proverbs 3? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths. And it doesn't matter who wins the election here in America. What matters is that I'm a Christian and I'm going to continue treating everyone with love and kindness and grace, just like the Lord has treated me with love and kindness and grace, even when I didn't deserve it. Probably still don't deserve it, but I am grateful for all that he does. In fact, this weekend, I was so thankful for a wonderful husband that helps me set up at all these different shows, for a wonderful church that allowed me to have a event, or set up at their event, for friends who were supporting me, for my Bible, for new friends that I just met, and overall just thanking the Lord for everything. And I think that's the key, is having a grateful heart for all that he does. So I hope today has encouraged you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like and a thumbs up, and tune in again next Monday at 10 a.m. I don't think I'm going to change it. I put a poll up. If you want to go vote, you can, but it seems like everybody wants to keep it Monday at 10. So if that's working for you, definitely let me know. Yes, it works. But I love you guys, and I hope you have a blessed day. Mwah.